This is Robinhood, an app that allows you to invest in the world's most popular companies.
How's it going, everyone? Now, you've probably guessed that I'm going to be talking about Robinhood. And so, from the TechCrunch article released back in late November, Robinhood has released a waiting list for UK-based investors to jump on board and to eventually use the product. Now, for those unfamiliar of Robinhood, Robinhood is a commission-free based platform which allows individuals to invest in US-based stocks. Now, the Robinhood app was founded back in 2013. Now, Robinhood for the UK is apparently going to be coming in early 2020, and so on the Robinhood website you can just supply your email address to be notified when the application is ready for release. And when the app is released for UK investors, you'll be able to invest in US-based companies. Now, if we think back to current competitors such as Daz Free Trade, then we can see that Robinhood, at the point of release, will not have access to UK-based companies, which is definitely a negative, but given that there's generally a skew to invest in US-based companies, that may not be such an issue for UK-based investors. Now, one positive to note is that with Robinhood, once it launches in the UK, there will be no hidden fees attached, whereas the likes of Free Trade is more of a freemium-based model, which generally charges the £1 on instant orders or requires you to wait until 4 p.m. to execute the order. And if you've had experience like myself, sometimes that order takes an extra hour and 45 minutes to finish the trade. And so I am definitely excited to see Robinhood enter the market to bring about more competition for mobile-based applications related to trading. So with that said, I now want to show you how the app functions. Okay, so we have the US-based app open on the left-hand side, and I've actually been using this application for the last 4 or 5 years. So if I go on the all-time graph, we can see that I first opened this app back in mid-June 2015. And actually this application was the very first investment-based app that I used, and I deposited $2,100. Now we can see at present time, I have a portfolio value of slightly under $3,000. That's $2,834. And the actual stocks that I'm invested in is the likes of Intel, Snapchat, and Stitch Fix. And so personally, I don't use this platform anymore, but it was definitely a great learning experience. But I just want to provide a walkthrough on the user interface. So as we've noticed, we have sort of the 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, etc. views, and we can see how our portfolio is growing. So we can also see how our investments have been performing. We have sort of a notification bar below the performance graph above. And we also have the actual stocks that we're invested in, followed by any stocks that we are interested in following. So I'm actually just going to go on the Facebook stock, and we can see that we're presented with a standard line graph. Now, it would be nice if we could change to a different type to analyze the graph a little bit better. And in fact, we can actually do that. So if we go to the icon next to the 5-year, we're presented with the candlestick line graph. We can also hold at any points of the graph, and we can get a list of information with tactile feedback as well, which is really great. Okay, so moving on to the next navigation at the bottom. Here we have additional features, and this definitely won't be coming in the UK. I suspect this tab won't even be viewable. So I'm going to skip over this section here, but in short, any invested cash will earn you 1.8% per year, and you're provided with a MasterCard which you can use as your daily driver when spending in shops and online, etc. So moving on to the next item, we have a bunch of viewable content that may be useful if you want to follow in a given company. Now, somewhat confusingly, we have the ability to search for companies on the same page here. And so This is where you can search for a company name or a ticker symbol. So for instance, Facebook, we can see the list of stocks and we can select the first option there, and that presents us with the view that we were previously on. And so I think actually it would be quite nice to have relevant content related to the given company you search in, rather than just being able to see the ticker symbol. This page is somewhat confusing because we have some business information at the top, but nonetheless you can search for a given company or ticker symbol, which is a good feature to have. And so from that we have our messaging system, and so if you invest in company that pay out dividends, then you'll receive messages sent out automatically. So you can view on the dividends that you receive, and overall this feature is great to have. It would be nice to have some basic form of graphing, but given this is just a mobile app, it's not the end of the world. And then on the final tab we can see our total value in our account. We have the options to move on to Robinhood Gold, which is a paid service and provides us with after market hour access. But for me personally, I don't think such feature is really required. We can deposit and withdraw money from our account. We have a bunch of history information for taxes, and we have our settings page as well. I'll show you how the app looks in light mode and quickly have a look at the view. So we can see we can still analyze the graphs. Everything looks great on this app. And here is how the home page looks. So the app is very simple in design, but works really well. From my experience, buying and selling stocks is completely painless. I've never actually had to contact anyone from the team. Now, I have heard that for certain individuals online, when they have issues, the messaging system is really difficult at times and there is no online customer support. But for me personally, I haven't really had any issues to begin with, and so my experience of free trade has been very seamless. So when the UK app version comes out for Robinhood, I'll definitely be doing another review, but hopefully it's been useful for those who don't have access to Robinhood to view how the app looks on the US one, and gives you an insight into how the UK-based version will be looking, even if it is a subset of some of the features I've shown. Now, it's already been mentioned that the likes of cryptocurrencies will not be possible, at least initially, with the UK-based version of Robinhood. And for me personally, that makes no difference. Anyone who's interested in cryptocurrencies can use other applications such as Revolut or eToro should they wish to. But for early stage investment, it's going to be great to welcome Robinhood into the UK market, and that should just have a net benefit with all the existing types of mobile-based investment platforms out there, such as Free Trade, Trading 212. So thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one.